Today I have 20 words for you that you can use instead of made. I made something. I made the sales higher. I made a bigger profit. I made the team work more efficiently. Or alternatives for did. I did higher sales. I did my target. I did something that was motivating and challenging. These words can be used in a number of different ways to improve your CV, improve your cover letter, update your LinkedIn profile, to convince clients to work with you, or in everyday conversation to make your English sound a little more advanced, a little more impressive, and to stop repeating the same words again and again. So if that is you, if you feel you are saying the same thing again and again, be sure to like and subscribe. And let's get started with our first word, which is achieved. Achieved. I achieved remarkable success in my studies by constantly working hard. Now we could just say, I was successful, or I did good grades by working hard, but I achieved emphasizes the amount of hard work that went into it. I achieved better results than anyone in my team. Instead of I did better, I achieved. There is an idea that there was something to accomplish, something to achieve here. It is an achievement. Our next one is improved. Instead of saying, I made the customer service response times better by implementing new software, you could say, I improved the customer service response times by. Now, of course, with improved, it has to be better than it was before. It can't be the same because otherwise it's not an improvement. For example, he made excellent relationships with the clients. If you're trying to say he made them better than they were, you could say he improved the relationships with the clients. Speaking of improved, I spent a long time before recording this video trying to improve my audio quality. I'm currently staying with a friend and the view from her house is incredible. It is so beautiful. I will put a picture on the screen, but it's very close to nature. So you might be able to hear lots of different types of birds in the background. I'm sorry if that's distracting. I find it quite nice to work in this environment, but I've tried to improve the audio as much as possible. Created. Now, typically we feel that created needs to be related to something creative. So designing something, making something new. Maybe you create a painting. Technically, anyone can create anything. A 5-year-old can create something. But when you use created in this sense of, this is something I did, I achieved, I made, what you're saying is, I was part of the team that started this idea or made this idea come to existence. So you don't have to be a creative person to say you created something. For example, I created a new software tool that simplifies workflow. Everything you did was on the computer. It was all maybe coding, development, software related, but you can still use the term created because before you, it didn't exist. Another example, we were struggling to meet deadlines, so I made zoning in the factory. Instead of this made, you could say I created zoning in the factory, so all departments had their own individual goals, and this sped up the amount of time it took to create the product, to make the product. Curated. Now the pronunciation is a little different to created. So created, our mouth goes wider. Curated. Notice your mouth stays in a very small O shape. Curated. To curate something is to collect information or products, but using your knowledge and experience to help you do so. So the suggestion is you have knowledge, experience, practice, expertise in a particular subject, and all of this knowledge, experience, expertise helped you curate this event. For example, The museum director curated an exhibit that showcased the evolution of modern art. So here we use curated because we understand the museum director has a lot of knowledge on the topic of modern art. If you just said the museum director made an exhibition, it means the same thing, but that feeling of the knowledge and expertise is not there. She curated a list of books for the reading club. Or I curated a list of recommended books for my reading club. So if you are asked in an interview, what do you like to do in your free time? Instead of saying, I made a list of recommended books for my reading club that I host every Friday, you're saying, I use my knowledge and experience that I have to make a list of books that I know my reading club attendees will love. I could say, for example, I curate these videos because I know exactly what my subscribers need from me. If I started doing beginner's English, I would probably lose a lot of you because your level is intermediate to advanced. So using my knowledge and experience of what intermediate to advanced students need, I've curated these videos. Undertook. Now, undertook suggests that what you are doing is a little more advanced or a little more than you actually need to do. It's not your daily responsibility. It's not your daily tasks. So, for example, instead of saying, I did extra work during the busy period to make sure we met the client's deadline, you could say, I undertook extra work during the busy period, because what you're saying is, this is more than I needed to do. Nobody asked me to do this. I chose to do this by myself because I know the company needed it. And by saying undertook, you're emphasizing that this was something extra. So there's a lovely interview question, which is, when have you gone above and beyond for the company or the customer or your team? You can use undertook in these kinds of examples, because I didn't just do something, I did more than what was expected of me. Another example, the company undertook a comprehensive review of its policies. So they didn't need to review their policies. Maybe the policies were already working, but the company said, actually, in order to improve, we need to have a look at this. So they did more than what was expected of them. And instead of saying the company did, you can say the company undertook. So this is fantastic in your LinkedIn profile. In the skills section, you can talk about things you have undertaken or undertook to improve your skill set, to improve your employability. Tackled. Now, tackled suggests that there was some sort of challenge or difficulty. This wasn't an easy thing for you to do. So often when we talk about tackled, we use it to relate to a problem that we had and we found a solution. So instead of, I made a new policy at work in order to improve the productivity of employees, you could say, I tackled the problem of productivity by creating a new policy for employees. It was a problem you had and you found a solution by tackling it. Similarly, she did or I did the annual report with great enthusiasm. You could change this to, I tackled the annual report. Maybe the annual report takes a very long time. It's very complicated. All of the information is in different spreadsheets. So by doing this, it was a challenge, but you took the challenge and you did it well. I tackled my dehydration by drinking water. Engaged in. The company made negotiations to secure a partnership with a global brand. Lovely sentence, but there's a part that we could improve. The company engaged in negotiations to secure a partnership with a global brand. It just sounds so much more advanced and professional, and I was going to say eye-catching, but I guess we could say ear-catching. I did an internship project that showed me exactly how a business deals with their finances on a weekly or monthly basis. Instead of I did, I engaged in an internship project that showed me how a business deals with their finances on a monthly basis. Engaged in just means to take part in something, but it sounds so much better than I did or I made. Pursued. Now, typically with pursued, we're talking about learning or a situation in which you gain a new skill because you're pursuing the certificate at the end. So again, instead of saying, I did a bachelor's degree in economics and politics, you could say, I pursued a bachelor's degree in economics and politics. We can also talk about pursuing our career. So with the interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? Personally, I don't like this question because we never know what's coming tomorrow, let alone in 5 years. But interviewers love to ask this question. You could say, I want to pursue my career in this way. Or I want to pursue a C2 level in English. I want to pursue these skills in order to improve my ability to da-da-da-da-da. I pursued a career in graphic design after completing my degree. Again, really nice sentence for LinkedIn or your CV. Instead of I did this, I pursued. Took on. Now, similarly to undertook, this suggests that you're doing something more than your responsibility or what is expected of you. So, for example, instead of saying, as a manager, I led the new project, you could say, as a manager, I took on the challenge of leading the new project. I did extra work to help my colleagues meet my deadlines. You could say, I took on extra work to help my colleagues meet my deadlines. Why should we hire you? Why are you the next person to join our team? Well, in my previous position, I took on extra work to help my colleagues. It just sounds so much more recommendable than I did this, I took on. Accomplished. Now, we have to use accomplished when something is finished. Otherwise, it would be accomplishing. I am currently accomplishing this skill. But accomplished, it has to be finished, completed. So instead of saying my team completed or my team did all of their objectives for the year, my team did all of their goals this week, is there anything else we can give them? You can say my team has accomplished all of their objectives for this year, this week. I did the London Marathon. I accomplished the London Marathon. I completed it with this time. With accomplished, we're emphasizing that something has been completed and completed successfully. Now, of course, the next word is completed. And again, similarly to accomplished, you can use it in the same way. Instead of they made the construction or they did the construction of the new office building on schedule, they completed the construction of the new office building on schedule. She did her coursework and graduated with honors. No, she completed her coursework and graduated with honors. I did a business English course at London School of Economics. No, you completed a business English course at London School of Economics. Executed. As project manager, I made a well thought out plan. No, you didn't. As project manager, you executed, or I executed, a well thought out plan, ensuring everything was completed on time. The team executed the marketing strategy that I created, and we were very happy with the results. So not I made or I did something, but I executed something. Carried out. Now, carried out really means the same as executed, so you can use these two in a very similar way. The committee did a survey to get customer feedback. The committee carried out a survey to get customer feedback. In an interview, they will always ask you, why do you want this job or why this company? And instead of saying, I did research, you could say, I carried out research on this company and your goals align with my personal goals, which is why I want to join your team. Initiated. Initiated is related to the start of something. So, for example, I had a conversation, or you would never say I made a conversation, but just for the example, I made a conversation with my professor. You could say I initiated a conversation with my professor about my research interests, meaning I was the one that started this conversation. It was my idea, and it shows that you are proactive. In order to improve morale in the office, I made monthly meetings where we could meet up and discuss our issues. No, in order to improve morale, I initiated monthly meetings. It suggests it's your idea. Facilitated. Now, this suggests that maybe you didn't come up with the idea, but you created the space for it. You helped it come to reality. There's a phrase which has come to fruition, but that's a bit too advanced, I think. If you hear come to fruition, it just means going from an idea to an actual thing. It's not an idea or a concept anymore. It's an actual thing that you can do. So to facilitate something means to provide the space for something to happen. As a trainer, I made a workshop on effective communication skills. As a trainer, I facilitated a workshop on effective communication skills. So I provided the space for all of these people to learn effective communication skills. How do you deal with conflict in the workplace? Well, I do meetings and guide the discussion and make people talk to each other. No, I facilitate meetings where people can discuss what is on their mind, and I guide the discussion until we come to a compromise or, a middle ground. Implemented. The company implemented a new system to streamline the production process. Or, of course, if this is your CV, your LinkedIn profile, you want to say something like, I implemented. I was the person that put this idea into place. I implemented a series of changes in the team to ensure we were working at our best to improve workplace productivity. What is a moment that you are proud of? Or what is your proudest moment in your career? For me, the proudest moment in my career is when I implemented an annual conference for women that work in male-dominated industries or for women in leadership roles. Implemented means you were the person that came up with this idea and you were the person that made it happen. Or perhaps you can actually use this in a future tense as well. What do you bring to the company? Why should we hire you? I want to make this. No, I want to implement this plan, this idea, this software, this process. A couple more for you, so hang on in there. If you haven't liked the video and you're still watching at this point, please like the video. It really helps me, and as I've said before, I'm trying to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so your like really helps me. Coordinated. As the event manager, I made all the logistics for the conference. No, you didn't. As the event manager, you coordinated all of the events for the conference. He coordinated the efforts of the team to ensure the project was completed efficiently. Coordinate means to make sure everyone's in the right place, doing the right thing, on time, going to meet their deadlines, to coordinate something. Contributed to. If you contribute to something, you might not be the person whose idea it was, you might not be the manager, but you definitely help create this idea, put this idea into place. I contributed to the success of the company by developing creative content that boosted our social media following by 50%. Tell me something you're proud of. My research contributed to a deeper understanding of the environmental impact of our company. And final one, delivered. The team delivered a high-quality presentation that impressed the client. The team didn't do or make, of course they did, we know they did, but they delivered. She delivered the project ahead of schedule, exceeding expectations. She didn't just do this project ahead of schedule, she delivered the project. So let me know in the comments what you have implemented at work, what you have successfully delivered. Perhaps you have pursued a new skill or qualification. Maybe you carried out some research or contributed to a new campaign. What have you accomplished? Let me know down below in the comments. I look forward to reading them all. As always, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a fantastic week, fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.